Dan Le Batard, popular host of the Dan Le Batard Show on Peacock with his good buddy Stu Gatz and the voice of Miami sports. Dan Le Batard joins us on the program. How are you, Dan?
It is lovely to see you as always. I have said through tears a number of different times here how much I love and admire you, but keeping me waiting so that Seton can talk. Who the hell lets their producers talk so much that you would keep me waiting after they call me during our show to say, hey, Dan needs you immediately. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm doing my show. And, I admire him and we're partners, but I'm doing my show. And then they say this was the killer. He's got 5 minutes for you. 5 minutes. And I'm like, does he know how many people I have who want to talk about the thing that he wants to ask me about right here? Because all of my producers want to yell about what just happened yesterday with Alabama getting into this and Miami being left out. And I got Stu Gatz next to me, and all he's saying is, make sure to tell him StuGatzBook.com.
Thank you.
Yeah. StuGatzBook.com. He's very happy that you're having him on to promote his book that is a national bestseller right now that he didn't write or read himself.
He's actually having you on to promote it. He's not having me on. He didn't ask me to come on. He asked you to come on, and you're doing a great job so far. Keep promoting it, Dano. I mean, I like it.
We're down to 2.5 minutes now.
StuGatzBook.com.
Yeah. How's Miami football? How's morale down there in South Beach, Dan?
Didn't you want to see Miami? Didn't you want to see Cam Ward and the best offense in the country in a shootout? Or did you just want to grandfather in Alabama on this major
No.
TV
I got
event?
to see Miami against Syracuse, so I already got to see them.
Okay, but how about Alabama against Oklahoma, 6-6? Did you see that one? Oklahoma that lost by 20 to LSU, that lost just recently to Oklahoma, 24-3.
Dan, I'm with you. But if Miami beats Syracuse, Miami beats Georgia Tech, then we don't have this discussion. Then we don't have to bring in Alabama, Dan. Just beat Syracuse.
Correct.
Beat Syracuse.
That is right. I can't argue that.
I would love to see Miami against Notre Dame and South Bend, Dan.
Dan Patrick, you are astute as always. If Miami were undefeated, they would be in. That is correct.
I'm saying beat Georgia Tech.
That's right.
Or beat Syracuse.
Yes, yeah, agreed. 2 fewer losses, and they're in. That is absolutely correct.
So you can put your snark to the side, just like Miami. Put them to the side, out of the playoffs, and then I'm just trying to have a rational discussion. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do.
Greg Cody wants to get in here, and he wants to get in here with sports conversation, and I want to get him in here reading 50 Shades of Greg. So which would...
He also has a book to promote.
Yeah.
What would you prefer? Would you have...
No. I'm not reading an obscene passage from a book. No, I'm not doing that. I got to draw the line somewhere.
Well, okay. Here it is. 50 Shades of Greg.
No, it's not happening.
Okay, I'm sorry, Dan. Go ahead.
I already did. I mean, I just...
You should be confused, Dan.
Yes, seriously.
Well, this is, Dan...
All I was looking for was...
Miami
you
talk.
Call yourself the Pope of South Beach. That's all I was trying to do, is let you pontificate and tell me about Miami. I told you, if you beat Syracuse, you're probably in. That's all. I didn't say you had to go undefeated.
Okay, but then I have to make the argument. What I would say to you, Dan, if I'm making the argument, okay? I know that people don't believe that Syracuse is any good. It's the best the best passing offense, most prolific one in the sport, and nobody regards Syracuse as anything because they're busy regarding all the 8-3 teams in the SEC as something greater than that. The argument I make on behalf of Miami, beyond, that they can put their record up against Alabama, is that you keep telling me how soft that schedule is for Miami, but it would have 3 other top 25 teams in it if Miami hadn't beaten those teams. This is about SEC reputation, and it's about Alabama reputation.
I didn't say that their schedule was soft. I said beat Georgia Tech and beat Syracuse. At what point did I say they're soft?
Agree. I didn't say they were.
You just said that I said that they had a soft schedule.
Okay.
I did not.
What you're doing here with Georgia Tech and beat Syracuse, okay, and Notre Dame beat Northern Illinois. Like, of course, we can make that argument on any team. I would tell Alabama, beat Oklahoma.
Okay, but Notre Dame recovered from Northern Illinois and became a really, really consistent, good team. Take them out of the equation. These losses just happened to Miami. It just happened last week. Timing is everything.
But you say, Dan.
I think Miami should be in, Dan.
Dan, timing isn't everything. Merit should be everything. Timing, you can't tell me. It doesn't matter to me whether the games were at the end of the season or at the beginning of the season. It's a body of work. It's an entire schedule of work. Why play the games that early at all if you're going to only make the ones late are the ones that count?
So should Notre Dame be kept out because they had one of the worst losses in all of college football with these top 12 teams? Is that what you're saying?
Dan, Alabama lost.
Dan, just answer
listen,
the question.
No,
Notre Dame,
wait.
Northern Illinois.
Hold on. I will answer it in a second. Oklahoma, 11 days ago, beat Alabama. Does everyone listening to this know how bad Oklahoma was this year? 24-3
Yes.
is the most inexplicable result I have in the sport outside of Northern Illinois going and winning at Notre Dame. And people forget about it. And you're talking to me about timing when I'm like, timing was 11 days ago.
I don't think
11 days ago, Miami was beating Wake Forest.
Dan, I don't think Alabama should be in. I think, like, you keep arguing the same thing. I'm agreeing with you that Miami should be in. I'm saying this is why they were probably kept out. Alabama's a brand. If this was 01, Miami would be in. They were a brand. They're not a brand anymore. That's part of this. It's a TV show. It's about entertainment. They want to. Alabama still has a fan base, a big fan base, a big draw. We're agreeing with the same thing. I'm saying you lost to Syracuse. That probably hurts you with the recency bias. That's all. That's it. We're on the same page.
I think we all agree that we all got into sports, not for the scoreboard, but for timing and brand. I agree with you.
Yeah,
timing and brand. That's right. That's how we should measure bodies colliding and killing themselves for money.
Dan, the real problem here is Boise State. Get them the hell out of my college football playoff. That is I want brands. I'm with you, Dan Patrick, okay? I want Alabama. I want Miami. I want nothing to do with Boise State or UNLV. Get them out.
You want to get a plug in for your book, too?
StuGottsBook.com.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your help with the
Are
book.
you sure you don't want the 50 Shades of Greg? I know it's awkward, Dan.
It is.
No.
You are, but you're interrupting what we were doing. Look,
Please say no, Dan.
I have told.
No.
Yeah, thank you.
No, but this one's safe for Middle America.
No.
Man, I'd love to, but I'm up against a commercial break here.
Thank you.
And he's
Thank
confused.
God.
And he should be.
Yeah.
God,
Right.
Dan
Yeah.
Patrick.
All right.
Dan Batard is the Jake Paul of sports host, you know? That's what you are. You're the Jake Paul of sports host. You should be ashamed.
Okay. I mean,
I agree with you.
okay. StuGottsBook.com. You gave me 5 minutes. Greg wanted to talk.
You
and then
took
didn't
2.5. You took 2.5. I gave you even more than that.
You did.
Why did we book him in the first place? Good God. All right. We move on. That's Dan Levitard. No, we're done. StuGottsBook.com. Go Hurricanes. What happened?
They're frazzled this morning down there. The entire Miami crew. There's a lot of Miami folks on their staff. They are frazzled because of this college football.
Oh, my God. Okay. I was agreeing with Levitard. He just wanted to stir something up. I was like, Dan, I agree with you. Would I put Alabama in? No. But they're a brand. Like, let's be honest with what's in front of us. You may not like this, but it's real. They're a brand. Boise State, you may not like it. They did everything they were supposed to do. Now they have to beat UNLV. Arizona State, they did everything they were supposed to. You can't change the game. Hey, we're going to play a different game or change the instructions.